Welcome back to Casual Bias Rugby. First 4 games for the Springboks, done and dusted. Well, 3 official games and a Barbarians game. And are you guys happy? Are you not happy? I mean, we're expecting the squad to get narrowed down tomorrow, Tuesday, to 36 guys. We expected a rotational squad, but we didn't even just get a rotational squad. We got 4 different teams from the Springboks running out against the Barbarians, Italy again, and then Georgia. And I kind of want to talk about the guys that really impressed me, that are kind of on the fringes, or I didn't really expect too much of them necessarily. So in my opinion, it's an interesting talking point, and obviously I want you to get into the comments and tell me who impressed you, who disappointed you a bit, who you're expecting more of, who needs to be in that squad. So I've kind of identified 3 forwards and 3 backs going into this one. Obviously I'm not talking about like the massive names like Eben Etzebeth and those type of guys. We know they're going to be on tour. Please do remember, get involved in the conversation. If you like this type of thing where it's just literally fans coming together talking about the game, please do remember to hit that like and subscribe button, because I don't have any stats, right? I'll throw you up an image and that's basically it. We're just talking off the cuff, first thing that comes to head, and then we'll just chat about it. So starting off with the forwards, I've got Loer Jager. Now, it's an interesting thing because most people would probably say Loer has to be there. He's been one of the best locks that South Africa's ever produced, and I fully agree with you. Right, but we went into this season with Eben and Franco Mostert, Roan Orkia, RG Snyman, where it was kind of that thing of we know how good Loer is, but do we need Loer Jager necessarily? Because we kind of sorted with it, especially if you add the likes of a Salman Murat there as well, right? We've got a lot of depth in that lock department. But Loer came back against the Barbarians game, and he had a proper fire in his belly. And he played against Italy as well. And it was like, it felt like he had that proper hunger for it. To the extent where if I had to make a Springbok squad now, a Springbok team, starting 15, Loer takes that 5 jersey for me. And it's not that Sosa's done anything wrong. It's not that Roan Orkia's done anything wrong. RG Snyman's on my bench, right? The impact that he brings is absolutely unmatched. But Loer, the way that he played, the line-out security that he brings, just the size, he's a massive human being that he brings, sensational. We just got a little sniff of that lock pairing between Eben and Loer Jager again, and it is sexy, right? It just felt right. And from there, I was just like, well, it's a strange thing where literally a few weeks ago, I spoke about my starting 15 for the Springboks, and that was on TikTok and stuff, and people keep talking about Loer, and I was like, well, Loer hasn't played in a good while. He hasn't played since 2022. I love Loer, but I didn't feel there was the need for him, and now I'm like, well, we need Loer, and it's just because he was that good. The impact that he brought, it was just extraordinary. I loved seeing the hunger, and I kind of feel like that was one thing that we missed throughout this first 4 games. There was in my opinion, just a bit of complacency with some guys in certain positions and stuff. And Loer, who's an experienced guy, it kind of felt like he knew he's playing for that jersey. He had to play to impress in that jersey. And he did that, right? So I was very impressed by Loer. Has to be in that 36-man squad to take on the Wallabies, because obviously we're just talking about the 36-man squad that's taking on the Wallabies. Doesn't include the guys that's going to New Zealand or having to play Argentina either. So Loer has to be there. My second one on the team sheet, this is pretty straightforward. Obviously we had no Pieter-Steph to tackle for the first 2 games, but we had Vincent Juka. The guy was an absolute monster. He's had a sensational season for the Sharks. He's come into the Springbok setup, and it was kind of that thing, well, can he bring it into the international scene? Yes, he can. Yes, he can. And now he's sitting in a position where it's like, well, Vincent Juka deserves another shot in the Springbok jersey, and I don't necessarily want to bring him from the bench. Could we see a situation, because obviously there's question marks whether Evan Roos will go, there's no Jasper Wiese, there's no Cameron Hanekom. Siya Kolisi has played 8 for the Sharks majority of the season. Do we get to a point where we say maybe that 6 jersey goes to Vincent Juka or Pieter-Steph, and then vice versa on the 7 jersey, and then maybe we see Siya at 8? that could be an interesting thing, right? Like, Sia's played pretty well at 8. Because obviously I'm going to speak about the next guy in a little bit. But Vincent Juka just came in, and it's the same as the Luet discussion where I just said, I didn't feel like we missed Pieter-Steph du Toit, even though he's the best player in the world, the reigning world player of the tournament, World Rugby Player of the Year. Obviously, when Pieter-Steph came back, you just saw the impact that he brings. I mean, no one matches up to Pieter-Steph. But Vincent Juka, just raw dog energy, purely playing to fight for his position, taking the opportunity by the scruff of the neck, carries hard, doesn't miss tackles, line out option. I mean, if you listen to Rassie, what he said in terms of the Kobus Visa playing at 8, he loves a line out. He loves a line out option, right? So if you have Vincent Juka there, and if you have Pieter-Steph there, I mean, you're sitting with 2 locks then. That's obviously your line-out guys. Then Vincent Juka and Pieter-Steph, both of them are line-out jumpers as well. So, I mean, you could go that route as well. Vincent Juka, standout player, absolutely sensational. I mean, he played 1 game against the Barbarians. Everyone spoke about him. He played against Italy. Everyone spoke about him again. That's just how good he's been. Really, really. If you want to talk about taking opportunity by the scruff of the neck and use a perfect example, there it is, right? And then finally, kind of a guy that's also fighting against Vincent Juka, and you have to give your flowers, right? Like, I'm not the biggest fan of Marco van Staden, but he played well. If you're going to talk about these 4 games that we had before we played the 4 games, and you had to tell me after the first 3 games that the guy with the most game time will be Marco van Staden, I would have probably laughed in your face, right? Because I thought if Sia's going to be out, they're going to use a Evan Roos there. They're going to use a Vincent Juka there. They're going to use Jean-Luc Dupré. And in the end, we just kept on using Marco van Staden, and he really performed, right? He's not your extraordinary standout type, right? But he's busy at the breakdown. He carries the ball hard. He gives you a hooker option as well if you really want to talk about it like that. Marco van Staden just did his job. It felt like watching the old Eskom again, because it felt like for the past, let's say, season and a half, even at the Bulls, right? Because he didn't play that much for the Bulls this season. He didn't really shine. But now when he played for the Springboks again, I was just like, he did his job beautifully. He doesn't need to be this guy that stands out. Go under the radar, do your dirty work, do your stuff, and you'll shine. And that's exactly what he did. And at some point, you can criticize guys, but when they play well, you have to give them their flowers as well, right? And I'm expecting for some people to say that when it comes to the backs as well, because I've got a name there as well, right? So when it comes to Luet, Vincent, and Marco van Staden, even though I wouldn't necessarily say all of them has to start for the Springboks, right? The only one that I think would most likely start would be Luet, but I mean, Evans for sure starting. Sous doesn't deserve to lose his place. Roan Orkie has been playing sensational rugby. He played sensationally in the games that he played for the Springboks as well. I just think, Luet really put up his hand there again. Marco van Staden, you know he's not going to start if Siya Kolisi is fit, right? Unless we play Siya at 8. Same with Vincent Juka against Pieter-Steph du Toit. But I just feel like in terms of what my expectation was for them beforehand, I didn't think they'd play as big of a role. But they really, really, really put up their hands, and I was so impressed by them. So yeah, those are my 3 forwards. Let me know what your forwards are. Obviously, I could forget to be mentioning someone, but obviously Malcolm Marx stood out. He played very well. Asenati and Klabakanye, absolutely sensational. And I think I wrote it down, but when it comes to the props, I don't know who they're going to select. I'm kind of in 2 minds whether they're going to go with Thomas du Toit or Asenati and Klabakanye, because there's some names that are certainly on there. And beforehand I thought Thomas du Toit will be shoehorned in. He would be a sure shout to get into the squad. But now I'm not too sure. I mean, the guy got subbed off after 28 minutes. I just don't know. Moving on to the backs. First name, probably the guy whose stocks rose the most. It's Manie Lobok. And I spoke about this so many times. I love Manie. I've loved him forever. I think he's absolutely sensational. I think he's the best passer that the Springboks have. He's the best coordinator at 10 that the Springboks have. And now he's getting his love. And you have to give him his flowers. I mean, if you're a Manie criticizer, I don't even know what to say. Because I always made videos and people are talking about Manie being shit. but only referencing his goal kicking, right? Like, fair enough, his goal kicking was trash. It was anal. But his game was always good. Obviously, he got subbed off the one time against England, right? Everyone just remembers that. But don't remember that he carried us throughout the entire World Cup until that semi-final. So obviously, the big games are still kind of something that we have to see from Manie, because he has fumbled a couple of big games, right? But in terms of just the normal game, running the show, he does it so well at the Stormers. He does it so well for the Springboks, to the extent kind of where he played so well throughout these first 4 games of us, that people have been talking shit about Sasha. They've been talking shit about Andre Pollard, and Manie's just been getting all the flowers. And I mean, fair dues. I'm not going to talk shit about Sasha and Andre, because like, I wouldn't be surprised at all if they're still first and second choice when it comes to the fly-offs. But Manie has surely thrown in his little 2 cents there to say, listen, don't forget about me. I can still take that 10 jersey and run with it. And he's changed his kicking technique. He's looking better. He's looking cleaner in terms of striking the ball. He's obviously a threat when he has the ball in hand, whether it's with the kicking. He's got a rocket pass, as I just mentioned. Running the ball just gets guys involved. Manie is your typical 10 that would just get the best out of the other guys. Like, I feel like Damian Willemse suits Manie. I feel like our wings suit Manie. Jesse Kriel suits Manie. Just because of the way that he gets the guys into the game. Where if you look at Andre Pollard, he's the Iceman. If you're under pressure, you bring on Andre. He's going to be cool, calm, collected, and win you the game like that. And Sasha brings you that individual magic. But he does tend to make a bit more mistakes than the other two. But there's no one that can do exactly what Sasha does. That's the whole thing of it. So we've got 3 fly-offs that kind of, Sasha and Manie is over there, and then you've got Sasha and Andre is over there, and then you've got Manie in the middle that plays a bit like the one and a bit like the other one, where the other two are kind of totally different from each other, which is great, right? Because it depends how we want to approach the game. We can choose whichever 10 we want to go for that one. So I don't think the 10 jersey is fixed at all, right? Unless we play against the All Blacks, so I kind of think like we'll probably go with the likes of Andre Pollard because it is the big games. But then at the other point, you have to think, well, do we finally say that Andre is still the main guy for big games and stuff, but we have to get the other guys used to the big games and we have to start them against the All Blacks, something like that. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about that one. Now, this is where I kind of have to give a bit of flowers, right? Kanan Moody. I love Kanan. I think he's sensational as a winger. I've always said this. I've said that he hasn't impressed me in that 13 jersey, except for the one game that we played at Twickenham against New Zealand. But he came out these last 2 games playing at that 13 position. And obviously the 13 is still going to be Jesse Kriel, right? I mean, the guy even captained us. But he played sensational as a 13. Like, I mean, if we have an injury on the wing, that jersey is still Kanan Moody's, in my opinion. Well, Edwin van der Merwe obviously put up his hand as well, right? So you can easily add Edwin van der Merwe onto this list. But Kanan Moody really put up his hand as that 13. It just felt like watching his game, there was a lot more maturity that went into it. It didn't feel like a guy where we said, okay, he can play 13, and I'm going to use the Romania game in the World Cup, which was, it's a great example of this, where it's like, well, he's going to prove what he can do at 13, and he kind of played as a winger at 13, just got the ball and tried to run everything. Kind of a bit sainig, if you would want to say it like this. But this time around, he's just a threat everywhere. He got everywhere. He's made his tackles. He chased the ball down, hit the gaps, showed some strength, showed composure on the ball. I mean, the guy was just class as a 13. And if you can keep this type of 13 playing that he did as on a consistent basis, he could be the future 13 of the Springboks. Like I've always said, he's the future wing for the Springboks. No doubt about it. Love him at wing. He's a sensational wing. Just couldn't see it at 13. Because even at the Bulls, I didn't really see it at 13. But he impressed me. He impressed me a lot. Especially in that Georgia game that just passed. Like the guy was just, he was good. He was really, really, really good. So, yeah, that's kind of what a video like this is based around, right? Like just giving the guys their flowers that you didn't really expect too much of them. Like, obviously, Kanan Moody is going to be in the squad, but I thought he would be in the squad as a wing. He's throwing his hat in there to be a centre. And the likes of maybe a Ethan Hooker, that would have thought, okay, he could be a centre one. Now you've got Edwil van der Merwe, who's probably thrown his hat into the winger position. He'll probably go on the tour as a wing. And then Kanan Moody would be a replacement as a centre, which kind of leaves you, well, where does Ethan Hooker fit in now? That's kind of the discussion that we have to have at some point. And then the final name, when it comes to the guys that impressed me, and I'm using this as an image, right, and not a more recent image, Apulile Fassi. As you know, I'm a massive Damian Willemse fan, right? I always say Damian Willemse is the best player in the world. It riles a couple of people up, but obviously he's not the best player in the world, Damian Willemse. But I believe he will be the best player in the world. Apulile Fassi, and everyone has said this, but over the past 24 months, he has taken his game to a new level. Remember when he played for the Springboks and we wore these jerseys? This was like Apulile Fassi, who was sensational at franchise level, but couldn't get the breakthrough at the Springboks. And when he played a game, kind of like the Evan Roos at the moment, where he was great at franchise level, but when he got his game for the international stage, it just didn't pitch up. It just never came through, and it felt like he fell out of favour a bit. Until last season, where there was no Damian Willemse, there was no Willie Leroux, and we were kind of forced to take Apulile Fassi. He has just shined since then. I mean, this season that he just had with the Sharks, insane. He gets his opportunity again for the Springboks. And I reckon he's the number one choice at the moment. I mean, his eyeball security was always kind of the it thing for Apulile Fassi. But he's kicking out of hand. Sensational at the moment. His running lines, his creativity that is brought up, getting the ball spread, getting involved in the game. And I reckon that's a bit with working with the likes of a Willie Leroux. That's obviously Willie's main thing, is to get people involved in the game, get people through the gaps. And Fassi's doing that. And he's got that individual threat as well. So Fassi, I thought, listen, when Damian comes back, that 15 jersey is on lockdown for Damian. I wouldn't say Damian's been shit, but he hasn't been great. Right, like he's had a couple of moments, right? The same as Sasha, like the Sasha that we know and love. We didn't really see that Sasha in these first 4 games. The same with the Damian. There's been moments for both of them where Apulile Fassi, excuse me, he's just kind of performed on a consistent basis, and I can't remember the last off game that Fassi's had. He's just been performing day in, day out, doing his job, getting it done. And he's also a try-scoring threat, right? Like, if you really want to, if there's a red card in the game or something, you can always move Fassi to the wing. So he gives you that utility as well. So, at the moment, Fassi's probably got that 15 jersey. That wraps it up, right? Luit, Vincent Koch, Marco van Staren. Those were the 3 guys that were kind of on the fringes for me. I wanted to see a proper Luit. We saw a proper Luit. Vincent Juka deserved his opportunity. It was all about taking that opportunity. He did it. Marco van Staren, didn't expect really to see Marco van Staren, yet he nearly played the most minutes. And he did his job. And he did his job very well. Manie Lobok, in my opinion, probably the guy whose stocks raised the most out of the 4 games. And he just looked like a guy that's playing with confidence. As soon as Manie gets some confidence, he's insane, right? Manie, biggest stock raiser for me. Kanan Moody, kind of the outside shout, where it was like, we knew he's going to be in the squad, but just as a 13, impressed me so much. And then, obviously, Apulile Fassi, who's just, his form is unreal. And do you say it's form when it's been so long now? Probably not. You just say he's finally hitting his groove, hitting his prime, seeing things open. It's kind of like when Fassi gets the ball, things move a bit in slow motion. He just does it well at the moment. And at some point, you just got to give credit, whether you're a Fassi fan or not. I know there's a lot of people that love Fassi. I love Fassi as well, but I'm not going to lie. At the start, I was like, I just can't see a future for Fassi at the Springboks. And I'm like, well, he has to be number 1. Right, and that's what happens when you give guys consistent game time. You show some confidence in them. You get these type of things, right? So those are my 6. Tell me who I missed out. Tell me who kind of disappointed you a bit when it comes to it. Obviously, if you want to throw an extra name, I'll throw an extra name that I just thought about. Grant Williams. massive stock raiser as well. Just when you look at Grant Williams, you just see the amount or the margin between him and the other nines. The other nines are good. Morder van den Berg's good. Faf de Klerk was really good when he came on against Georgia, to be fair. I love Kobus Reinach. I've always said Kobus Reinach is our best nine. Well, it's Grant Williams. He's just so much quicker at the breakdown. He's got threats everywhere. He's got a great pass. His box kicking is good. His clearances are great. I mean, he kicks it off both feet as well, right? So there's another one. But, I mean, we all expected Grant to impress. But obviously, as a guy that just came back from injury, can't really moan about his performances. There you go. Just a little chat video. Get involved. Tell me what you guys think. And I will see you next time. Thank you. Bye. Ciao.